So we're gonna decide what the worst weapon is in TF2.
Okay, so the worst one, not the best of the bad.
The worst of the worst. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like, is this measuring everything? Like, is this considering any game mode, any use case, or what's the criteria here?
That's a good question. So we're gonna go off of just casual mode TF2, not MVM, not man.
Okay.
Man, what is it? What's the one with the power-ups?
Manpower?
Manpower.
Manpower.
Not
I
manpower.
think you can make anything good in manpower.
Yeah. Not competitive, just casual mode TF2.
And also medieval mode.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, actually. So we're not doing medieval mode.
No.
Like, my thought, too, is that there are going to be weapons that are so bad and they're so close in terms of power that it being good in some niche game mode might tip it over the edge.
It might.
That's my thought process
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
If we need to go there for tiebreakers, then we will. But I feel like it might be. I don't know how hard or easy this is going to be.
But that's the fun of it.
If you guys don't know who these two are, by the way, this is fish stick on a stick, fish stick on top of a stick, inside of a stick.
Yes. All of those things.
He makes, you might have seen like the Bad Weapon Academy videos, so I thought you'd be a good person to weigh in on bad weapons.
Boy, am I familiar with so many of these.
Yeah, so much footage of using these, so much experience, because honestly, I don't really have nearly as much experience using these bad weapons as you, because I actively avoid them, but you go headfirst into trying them out, so.
Almost every single one of these videos has a dedicated video from me. I can see like a handful that I haven't touched yet.
Okay, cool. Well, there's still work to be done then. And then we've got Great Blue, who has experience making videos about theoretically bad weapons. So I don't know, maybe that'll help too. But
we got a physicist and a theoretical physicist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Bad Weapon Academy by proxy. I make videos with fish, so via osmosis, a lot of the Bad Weapon Academy knowledge is rubbed off.
And I know a lot about osmosis because I'm a fish and I'm underwater.
Yeah, and your favorite movie is Osmosis Jones, starring Bill Murray. So
yeah, Bill Murray, he gets really sick and gassy.
A lot of gross shit happens in that movie. I don't know why.
That was a weird movie. We watched that in like elementary school for some reason.
Yeah, well, it's educational. All that stuff really happens.
That's what happens inside the human body.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just start. We'll start at the top here. We're gonna go start with the backscatter versus the red tape recorder. Which one is the worst of these two weapons, you think? They're both pretty bad.
They are both really bad. I would honestly probably say the backscatter, because I feel like the red tape recorder has honest use cases. The backscatter is just like, it's kind of just the worst scattergun in most situations.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling
So
too.
I'm going to be pedantic here because I would actually vote for the red tape, but I think that's because my criteria is probably different. So we should probably establish how much are we valuing opportunity cost? Because my thought is that the backscatter is the worst scattergun, but it's still just a slightly worse version of a really good weapon. So even though there's no reason to choose it over the scattergun, in a vacuum, it's a lot better than the red tape is. But the red tape has niche use cases.
I think opportunity cost matters. Is like the opportunity cost of red tape recorder versus sapper is really not that bad compared to the backscatter over basically any other scatter. Like, I think this is the worst of the worst scatter guns. You can pick anything, and at the very least, you would at least have more fun. At the very least. I think Babyface is way more fun than this thing. I think, Scattergun and Soda Popper are just, like, the two tippy top ones. And then everything else is just, like, it all right.
How much fun are you having with a red tape recorder, though?
Yeah,
It's
how
not
fun
a
is
weapon
that?
I throw my arms up in whimsy when I pull out, like...
But that's the thing. It's like, do you have fun using the regular sapper? Not really, right?
I don't know why you're making the it's more fun argument. It's the red tape.
I'm just saying.
recorder.
I'm
It does
saying
nothing.
at the very least, even if it's not necessarily more effective with the other scatter guns, at the very least, I think you will be having more fun. The backscatter is just like, it's good for literally one thing, and that's one tapping a sniper, which doesn't even matter because you're losing like a bunch of your clip anyway.
I think the backscatter is more usable than you're giving it credit for, though. Like, even if
I
you're just
think that
running
there's
around
no-
in a team fight, there will be enough turned around enemies that you'll get mini crits on where it's not completely useless. It's
But I
not
don't-
good, but it's more usable than the red tape. I could.
But I
of
think
more...
there's no reason to use it. That's my point. There's reason to use the red tape recorder.
Okay, what's the reason?
Against mini sentries, against teleporters, for instantly destroying buildings that the engineer is just placing down. All of those are actually things that you want to do against an engineer. The backscatter is good for literally one thing, and that's one-tapping snipers.
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting that this is first, because I think the argument really does come down to the backscatter is better in a vacuum. It's a more usable weapon, but the red tape has more niche uses, so there's more reason to actually equip it. So what's the point of the tournament here? What are we?
Well, it's just, yeah, it's just. I mean, that's a good question. It's just based on vibes. At the end of the day, I mean, like,
okay, great.
I think that you guys you both make very good points, but I think that at the end of the day, like, I always had been looking at this from a perspective of, if I'm equipping one of those weapons, how successful am I going to be as the class that I'm playing as, versus if I didn't equip that weapon. So, like, for example, if I equipped the red tape recorder over the regular sapper, then I feel like it wouldn't nerf the spy very much. He's still going to be able to stab. He's still going to be able to, like, shoot people with the revolver. The scout is his scattergun. You know what I mean? So if you're making his scattergun bad, then the scout is bad. You know what I mean? So I feel like that kind of makes it just has more effect on the effectiveness of what you're actually trying to do as that class.
I agree.
A negative effect, that is.
Yeah. Does it make you so bad that it's genuinely nerfing you? Like, it's worse than the stock scattergun for sure, but I still think it's usable enough that good scouts can get by.
It's usable enough. Like, I've been able to frag with it just fine, but it's like, in every situation, I would always rather be using something else. With the red tape recorder, there's been instances where it's like, hey, I did something there. Cool.
Yeah. You're still going to be able to do what
And at the
essentially
very
a sapper
least, like,
does with the red tape recorder.
Yeah, and at
Okay.
the very least, I can just play spy normally in every situation that does not involve an engineer's building otherwise.
Okay, I can buy the it nerfs you less argument.
That's the criteria we're going by here. It nerfs you less.
I think that helps. I think it helps to try and think about that whenever thinking about how bad these weapons are in comparison to one another, because, like, yeah, it is hard to kind of think of things in a vacuum, I think, because TF2 is not a vacuum. The backscatter moves on to the next round. Well, the next one is Buffalo Steak Sandvich versus... What is this thing called again? I forgot.
The Tribalman
Tribalman
Shiv.
Shiv. Thank you. I haven't equipped this in many years. So
I don't blame you. I think this is probably one of the worst weapons in the entire game.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty easy decision, because at least the Buffalo
Yes.
Steak has, like, niche movement tech. You can drop it to your medic for 75 health.
It is a medium health pack, and it's
right.
and it's actually pretty good in medieval mode, which like I
Okay,
think.
well, we kind of ruled that one out at the beginning, but, like,
Well, listen,
even in
that
not
can
medieval
help
mode,
tip it
it's
over the
like-
edge even more, because fuck the Tribalman Shiv, it's awful.
Yeah, I don't,
It's so
you're just
bad.
like, yeah, it's just a win more thing that you're bringing up
heavy
here.
to mid, 15% faster.
I know.
That's like ETF2L.
That's kind of
nightmare fuel.
overpowered if you think about it. They should ban it.
Yeah, I'm European, and I agree.
Yeah, anyway, Tribalman Shiv, easy pick.
Now, speaking of easy picks,
Yeah, seriously. What? Okay, Fish, we can't say it, right? But
no, we can't say it.
What?
But seriously, the Enforcer is just the stock revolver, but very slightly worse, and the Sun on a Stick is just crap.
It is crap. It's notoriously crap. This is like one of the meme weapons that people always bring up as being like, when people think of bad weapons, they think of the Sun on a Stick, so.
Yes.
But this is also just never used. I never see any spy ever use this revolver, so I figured I'd just put it in this group of
Oh
bad
no,
weapons.
it's definitely, like, I would say the weakest of the revolvers.
Yeah.
But like
it's
the
still
Sun
like
on
a
a Stick is
B-tier
so
weapon,
much
to be
worse.
fair.
Yeah, if you got a vaccinator med on the other team, then you can like
Well, you
shoot
can
him.
stab him in the back for one
I'm
thing.
gonna say, I think Spy
yeah.
has more efficient ways to kill vaccinated
yeah.
medics.
That's the biggest problem with the Enforcers. Like, outside of wrangled sentries, which again you could just like sap if you really need to.
Right.
It's,
Okay, well,
there's
that's
really
not
just
all it is.
nothing you can. There's nothing you can shoot that you can't just stab.
The thing about the Sun on a Stick that always cracks me up is the damage penalty makes it, even in the best possible case scenario, do less damage than a scattergun meat shot. I don't know why they did that.
I'd never even thought about it that way. Yeah, the breakpoints don't make any sense.
I mean, I guess the best case scenario you have to think of is that, like, it's essentially a slightly weaker scattergun with a faster rate of fire and a bottomless quote-unquote clip, because you could just keep swinging until the cows come home.
You're making it sound really
But-
good.
As long as the guy you're hitting is on fire, then yes, it is. It's not the worst thing you could be using.
Does it set people on fire?
No.
Oh,
It does
well,
give
then-
you a fire resistance, a
What the
25%
fuck?
fire resistance
What's the
while you
point?
hold
3
it out.
afterburn damage instead of 4.
Look at this thing. This thing should set people on fire. I mean, look at it. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
You would think, right? But no, it doesn't.
Yeah, you'd hope.
All right, Gas Passer versus Vita Saw or Vita Saw.
I feel like this is another easy one. Gas Passer is such
Yeah.
trash.
I was literally about to say the
There's-
Vita Saw though.
Well, Yeah, so here's the deal though, Fish. If we're going by what makes you the most nerf, the Gas Passer removes your secondary,
As
but
a
it
pyro,
has the niche
which is
use.
really important.
That is true, but it has the niche use of doing the Neon Annihilator thing now, but the Vita Saw just hurts
So,
you no
okay,
matter
cool.
what.
Hold on. Now you get to have basically no secondary and a crap melee. Awesome.
Yes,
Thanks.
but you're not missing health as the healer.
Yeah.
Okay, in a game where everything that kills you as the healer kills you instantly, so it doesn't
Yeah, but
matter.
what if,
It's
what
10
if someone
health.
is
I have seen this
running-
downside matter like once. Do you know how often I see the Gas Passers many downsides matter?
I don't know. I've lived with like 1 health on medic quite a lot. There's a lot. The breakpoints when it comes to medic is actually surprisingly tight. So like you can get like 2 rocketed and you'll survive with like less than 10 health left. It usually takes them a little bit extra damage to actually take you out. So I feel like if you have 10 less health on medic, it actually might just straight up kill you all the time. But then again, I don't really use this weapon.
I have
so.
not seen it come up all that often. I did make a video on the Vita Saw, and like the conclusion I came to is that like it's really not that bad. I'd rather be using the Vita Saw than the Bone Saw, to be perfectly honest, which a lot of people seem to disagree with. I really can't in good conscience say that like, oh yeah, this is definitely worse than the Gas Passer of all things. Like, if you really want a big melee combo as Pyro, just use the Extinguisher. Why would you sacrifice your secondary to do the same thing that the Extinguisher already does?
No, you're right. You're right.
So the thing too about like breakpoints and stuff is I think it's a bit disingenuous to say, oh, from full health, here's what you can and can't survive. Like that's important for sure. But it's not like you're always going to be at full health and then taking these massive chip shots to go down to lower health. Oftentimes, you're going to be constantly getting just tickled, and the fact that, like, on Medic, there certainly have been times where it's like, I've just been chipped enough by random scouts or spies or whatever that I'm down to single-digit health, where I would have died if I had the Vita Saw. Like, that does happen, and it's not just because I'm getting chunked for 140 specifically. It's just because, again, TF2 is chaotic, and you're
Usually when I get
taking
chunked for
random damage.
140, it's because I'm really getting chunked for 150 because there's a sniper on the enemy team.
Yeah, it wouldn't come into play when you're getting one shot. Yeah, for sure. Backstabbed or headshot.
Yeah, or random crit.
Yeah.
Or
I'm just
charged
thinking
out
of
by
all.
a Demo Knight,
I'm
or
just thinking of
Market
all the.
Garden.
Yeah. There's like tons of ways to completely screw over a medic with one hit, but I'm thinking of the times when I'm sitting behind my team. I haven't seen any other player on the other team in a while. I'm just kind of in the back healing, and then all of a sudden, a soldier does a cool rollout that he's practiced a million times on upward to bomb me, and he hits me with 2 rockets, and I survive with like 10 health or less, and then he dies before he can get the 3rd off. That happens quite a lot, I feel like. And I don't know, I feel like if I had the Vita Saw in those situations, I might not have survived. But then again, I don't use the Vita Saw because obviously there's way better uses. And also,
Well, obviously,
I mean,
no one ever uses the Vita Saw.
we could also talk about opportunity cost. I mean, this thing is completely overshadowed by the Uber Saw. It's insanely better.
The Gas Passer is fighting. It's fighting with every other pyro secondary.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty rough.
It has more, there's more options for the opportunity cost when it comes to the. I don't know if that matters.
Imagine the
so-
Gas Passer, except at infinite range, and you can shoot it 16 times in a row, and it has a passive reload.
Well,
man.
and you also
Sounds good.
don't have to wait for your teammates to shoot them because you just light them on fire yourself, and they're not
And it
covered in
stuns
gas
people and does
may or may not
knockback.
be ignited.
Yeah.
No, so I actually think in the specific like context of this bracket, there's a good argument to be made that the Vita Saw is worse because both
I
of them
really disagree.
basically do nothing. When are you ever getting use out of the Vita Saw? Like, even if you get a
I've
hit,
gotten use out of the Vita
chance
Saw.
the chance of you dying though with any amount of Uber is like it's so low. A lot of things have to happen for this to even become useful in the first place.
Dude, you use it with like
Whereas-
the quick fix or the crits Krieg, and if you die in the middle of your Uber, you get to keep some of it when you like respawn. I've had that
If
happen
you
before.
hit someone though, like
Sure, I hit people.
I do think that 10 health
Clip
is
it.
an actor of detriment to medic, whereas with pyro it's like you don't have a secondary.
That's so
but-
important. Blue, you're a pyro main. You need to know. You need to understand how important your secondary
Yeah, I mean,
is.
you can. I guess we should also consider like skill level too, because if you're not like the best pyro, I mean, you can probably get by with your flamethrower.
Yeah, but if you're not the best medic, then maybe some people would consider the Vita Saw to be more valuable because I'll tell you guys, like, I don't know very much about people who use this. Apparently, there are people who are fans of this because I watched
That's a lie.
No, I watched a video by Theory Y, the guy who makes medic videos, and he made a video all about how the Vita Saw sucks and stuff. And then in his comments, I scroll down. There's like people who are just like, actually, it's like good if you're gonna be dying a lot. Like if you find yourself dying a lot, then it's really good because then you can like retain Uber charge if you hit somebody before you go down. And it's like, like people actually do go to bat for this thing. So
people go to bat for every weapon in TF2. There'll be people like, oh man, I love using this thing.
Yeah, there's a fan of every single weapon in this game, no matter how bad it is. So it'll be interesting to see people's reaction to this video, which, you know,
there's plenty of sun on a stick shooters out there.
Moral of the story with this one is I think even though most people's reaction is, oh, it's the gas passer, I think it's closer than people assume.
I still think it's the gas passer, and it's really easy.
Yeah, thinking more about it, I think it's the gas passer because the amount of stuff you can't be doing as pyro if you don't have a secondary versus how many times realistically are you living on 1 HP as medic? Like probably not as many as you're gonna miss a secondary.
Yeah, it doesn't come up as much. I mean, like it comes up, but it doesn't come up nearly as much. You're right. I think that you've convinced me that it's the gas passer. But I did go into it thinking, man, the Vita Saw, that's one of the worst weapons I can think of off the top of my head.
It is an active detriment to medic, to be fair. Like, I do think that is something.
It's certainly not a great weapon, but like I really think that the Vita Saw isn't all that bad, and the gas passer is just so unforgivably awful.
Moving on, we've got Huo-Long's
This one's
Dragon
pretty even, I think,
versus the liberal launcher. Launches liberals at people versus the Chinese gun. My gut instinct is to say that the Huo-Long heater is worse because I feel like if you want to play like Market Gardener Soldier but not completely nerf your damage with the rocket jumper, then you're gonna want to try and just go with this plus gunboats, and you'll take considerably less damage while rocket jumping, and then you'll still be able to take out like midi sentries, you know. So it has like a pretty good use case.
The thing that's like sticking me is I think that the Liberty Launcher is a more versatile weapon, but the Huo-Long heater is really good in one specific situation, which is if you're playing payload on offense, then it's like there's pretty much no reason not to use it unless you just feel like, I don't know, using Tommy Slot for the extra
well, doesn't
range
it only
or something.
Doesn't it only ever do extra damage if someone's on fire?
Yes, but
you're playing payload offense and most of your team is pyro,
if you play with 5 pyros,
isn't pyro or engineer. Like, no, I'm kind of agreeing with Dane. I think that just because we've had the precedent of favoring weapons that have more actual practical reason to use them, I could think of times that I'd want to run a Liberty Launcher. It actually does work very well with the Man-Treads, too. A weapon that's not traditionally very good, but you can get away with having, like, a rocket jumper playstyle and not taking a ton of damage without the gunboats.
Situationally, the Huo-Long heater comes up, like, less frequently. I'll agree with that. Like, there's super tight maps where you can actually, like, get people with the Ring of Fire, and payload offense where it's just like, I want to deter spies even though it's not very good at that, but hey, at least
really
it's only
good for
making spies have to jump over the flames.
Well, think about this though, if you're playing against a spy who's running the spy-sickle and forgot that he has a space bar and or gun, he can't really do anything against you. I mean, you just kind of win that matchup for free. So
yeah, in exchange for running out of ammo every 2 seconds.
Yeah, but you don't need that. You have a fist.
All right. No ammo on the fist.
Yeah, I think just because the Liberty Launcher is way more versatile, like you can use it for rocket jumping, you can use it for quick switching, you can use it for like, I don't know, even just like Conqueror Soldier if you just want to like help your team out and like, you know, you don't have to worry about doing too much damage to get the buff up. Yeah, I think that there's good reason to use the Liberty Launcher.
Right.
Here's the thing too, Liberty Launcher actually, in my opinion, is one of the best rocket launchers to use with the Kritzkrieg, which sounds counterintuitive.
That is true, actually.
5 rockets that do 200 damage, in my opinion, is better than 4 rockets that do 270. Especially
and they
because
go
you can
super
hit them
fast.
easier. Yeah.
True.
So like you're killing most things in 1 rocket anyway at that rate. Why not just get 1 more rocket that also flies faster? Like, it's a niche strategy, but it does work.
All right, we're all in love with the Liberty Launcher, so let's just put that.
The Liberty Launcher is actually the best one of the game.
It looks like Liberty triumphs over the Chinese gun.
Yes.
America
wins again, commies.
How about this? What is it?
Manmelter versus the Equalizer.
Yeah.
Oh, Equalizer's way worse. It's not even close.
I agree.
Manmelter actually has uses. I love trolling like vaccinator pockets with phlogistonators.
and
sucking
scorch
up
shot
all the fire.
spammers. Also, combining Manmelter with the Dragon's Fury is so fucking choice. I love it so much.
I've been hearing that that's a good pairing. I haven't used it as much. I've been sticking to Dragon's Fury plus Flare Gun. But I guess if you're playing against other pyros, then this is probably better just to...
Even if you're not, then like at worst it's just a Flare Gun that can't deal crits on follow-up, which isn't that bad. It's not the like, hey, you still do like fire damage at range as pyro. If you're using the Flog or the Dragon's Fury or whatever, then it's like, yeah, it still does the job.
The projectile speed too isn't nothing. I mean, it's basically hit scan. It's what, like 3,000 hammer units per second. That's ridiculous.
Right.
I think the Equalizer really only comes in handy in the event that you are at full health and get hit by a random melee crit, because then that brings you down to 5 health, and now your melee attack actually does damage. Okay, no, and then you have to deal a random melee crit.
I was gonna say, and then you get a random crit,
a shitload of damage.
So in soldier duels, when you get random crit and then you get a random crit, that helps.
Yes.
In reality, the Equalizer comes in handy when I want to be a little goober and taunt kill under a bridge or something. And I don't want to be marked for death.
Right, which you can still do with the his superior brother, so it doesn't.
And
really
the Manmelter can also taunt kill.
Oh, really? Does it do
that's
the?
not unique to the Manmelter.
Yeah, it just does the
high.
Wow.
Wait, what was that sound? Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's the noise that the pyro makes.
We interrupt this video to tell you about Raycon, the makers of earbuds. Earbuds that you put into your ears to listen to music, podcasts, videos just like this one, and whatever else that you can hear. And that's right, they're bringing back a classic, a fan favorite. Everybody loves them. The Everyday Earbuds Classic model. It's the classic version you know and love, but this time they've slapped on active noise cancellation just to sweeten the deal. But that's not the only thing I love about these earbuds. It's also got awareness mode, which, you know, I live in a big city. I gotta be aware of my surroundings, so being able to hear a car coming, that's kind of important to me. There's also 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery, and it's got these optimized gel tips to make sure that they fit nice and snug and comfortable in the hole of your ear. So if putting a comfortable sound maker in the hole of your ear sounds good to you, just go ahead and visit the link that you see on screen. That's buyraycon.com/Uncle Dane, and you'll not only be able to help me and my channel, but you will also get 20% off these fan favorite everyday classic earbuds. That's 20% off. Can you believe it? That link is in the description and the pinned comment, by the way, so go and check it out. Thanks so much to Raycon once again for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to the tournament.
Ooh, this one's hard.
Because I feel like these are both decent weapons.
These are good.
These are the upper echelon.
Actually.
I mean, like, I had to think of 32 bad weapons. Eventually, I kind of started edging into like not horrible, but still kind of like
definitely off meta.
Yeah, and like kind of
I would say that these two are both contentious weapons, because like the Criticola really rides the line harder than any other weapon between being basically garbage and being overpowered as fuck.
Right, and I kind of feel a little bit the same about the jetpack because I feel like if you can use the jetpack effectively, which in my opinion means not bombing people but just using it to get into better positions as pyro, then you can very easily play flank pyro to the degree that you like would not be able to do as any like using any other weapon, even the detonator. Like you can get to like roofs and stuff, which, you know, I think is awesome.
I kind of agree with Dane, because like there have been instances where I fight pyros who are like really good with using the thermal thruster, and it's annoying.
Yeah, they can just leave any encounter. It's kind of crazy.
Subtly really good. I'm glad that I have people in this corner, because I have thought for years, like, this is actually a really insane weapon. It's not broken by any means, but I can think of plenty more use cases for this than the Criticola. Like, Scout does plenty damage anyway.
Yeah,
if I'm running the Criticola, it's because I'm running the short stop, basically.
You're right.
But
that's the thing, is that Scout does plenty of damage anyway. Now he does more. And that's
yeah,
the
but
thing
you're
with
also marked for death. Like, you're not breaking
Scout has
too many
less
thresholds,
enough
but
health as it is. Now he has less. Like, it's just an incredibly polarizing
you
thing.
Die
that
in
just,
one shot now.
It's more. He's more of a like they took glass cannon, made it even more glass cannony. You know,
exactly.
Yeah, they untempered his glass.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that there's not much practical reason to use the Criticola, even if when you do use it, it can potentially be powerful. Because I think I even mentioned this in some other thing we were doing, Fish, but like when you use the Criticola, when you drink it, you're not actually changing the matchup in your favor necessarily, because you both deal and take many crits. You have to land fewer shots, but so does the enemy. Right. And there have certainly been times as like Soldier or Pyro or whatever where my win condition now fighting against a Criticola scout is land 1 rocket. And he has to play at a pretty high range because of that. And he does have many crits, but if he takes damage 1 time, he's gone. Versus the Thermal Thruster, which is just like subtly a really good mobility tool for Pyro, I think there's a lot more reason to use that than the Criticola.
My thing with the Criticola is I feel kind of similar about the Candy Cane, honestly, is that it falls into this sort of uncanny valley where it's like, if you're really good at Scout and can abuse the fuck out of this thing, you don't really need to abuse it anymore.
Right.
Like, at the point where you are so good that you can use it as, like, as good as it's gonna get, it's basically completely irrelevant, and you'd be better off using something else. I think, yeah, the Criticola ends up being the worst weapon between the two.
Yeah, it's kind of like a win more, lose more pick. I don't know. It's like,
yeah.
Why don't you just use something else?
In terms
win?
of design, it is absolutely the worst weapon, because, like, I think it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, why bother adding this in the first place? I don't know why Scout needs more damage.
And then these two are also in the category of, like, I think these have their fans, and I think they have the potential
I'm
of being
a fan
used.
of the Classic.
Yeah, they have their potential of being used by people who are good with them, but I still feel like in terms of like what other options you have for both of these slots, it's still the worst.
Yeah. I am a big shooter for the Classic. I love the Classic. I think it's easily the worst between these two weapons.
Yeah, the Reserve Shooter has legitimate uses on Soldier, and I mean,
even on Pyro. Even on Pyro, I think the Reserve Shooter has its uses.
Didn't they get rid of the crit on Air Blast a while back?
Yes,
that was
fucking God.
10 years ago. I'm sorry to break it to you. That was almost a decade ago.
Oh no, I know. A while back. So that's why I'm saying is like, I think on Pyro it just doesn't do anything anymore.
I still think it has some use cases. The Classic.
When are you popping people up in the air, or are you just like kind of waiting for people to jump? I don't know.
Well, I think that the switch speed is really good on Pyro, because like for the same reason that it's good with.
Let's not oversell it.
For the same reason it's good with the panic attack, but you can use it at longer ranges. That has helped me out more than once. And also, yes, I have been able to pop people up by reflecting rockets back at them and then mini critting them with the Reserve Shooter, and it is the nastiest fucking thing in the world.
That is really gross.
It's a really cool clip, but how many times are you doing that? Because that's not something to rate the entire effectiveness of the weapon.
Listen, a Pyro ended up doing it to me while I was trying to do it, so it was really funny,
so
but it also drove me insane.
Memory. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
These Pyro mains are crazy these days. I think, I mean, you probably could use it a little bit on Pyro, but yeah, you're right. It is probably better on Soldier.
Oh, on Soldier, I think it's just a legitimately good shotgun.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's solid. I mean, you can directly combo into it. It's a good way to counter roamer soldiers, especially if you're playing pocket. I mean, this thing does come in handy.
And at the end of the day, it's still like a shotgun that still does decent damage. It just has like a couple less shells.
Versus the Classic, which that's giving up a lot of stuff to run.
Yeah, but it is still a sniper rifle, and I'm also a fan of the Classic. I will go to.
I love using it so much. It's so dumb.
It is very fun.
It's fun, but you say it is still a sniper rifle, but not being able to quick scope. I mean, that is a pretty big downside.
That's a huge part of
it. It is the downside, I think, of the weapon. But being able to be aware of your surroundings when you're charging is pretty good too. So
yeah,
I mean,
play
it's
very
not
campily, but
but you could also use the Huntsman if you want to do that. So this is
true,
and still be able to headshot people quickly.
This is my version of the Huntsman. If I want to mess around like on Sniper, I'm not going Huntsman. I'm going Classic because I suck with the Huntsman so bad.
Same.
It's Huntsman's utterly unsatisfying.
Yeah, I don't know how you can suck with the Huntsman. Apparently, its hitbox is massive, but not for me.
You get unlucky. That's how.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a purely luck-based weapon, but people don't like to acknowledge that because they irrationally hate sniper rifles.
This is the only engineer weapon. Yeah, this is the only engineer weapon on this list, by the way.
Thompson's worse.
Than the Babyface's blaster. Okay, all right.
The Babyface's blaster is a weapon that can actually be pretty good if you're really good at Scout. Like this is not like the Criticola, I think, where once you get to a point where you're really good with this, you don't need it anymore. Like you can do stuff with this that you can't normally do as Scout, and it is so goddamn fun to use. While the Pomson is just, it's always frustrating.
Yes.
I hate it so much. I hate using the Pomson. I never feel satisfied when I hit the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've full well, I am Pomson hater. Always have been. Always will be. Even if they change it, even if they make it good, I'll still hate it because it gave me trauma. But yeah, I mean, I will say this though: the upside of I think of the Pomson compared to other weapons, there is an element of unlock envy whenever you're using it. You're like, oh, I wish I had this or I had this. But at the same time, you can mold your playstyle around it to where you're like, okay, I basically just don't have a functioning shotgun, so I'm just gonna build buildings and turtle and like maintain them. And you'll still be pretty darn effective on engineer. Like, it doesn't actually nerf the class that much. If you
just have to discourage yourself from walking forward with your shotgun by equipping the Pomson.
I was gonna say, I would actually. I mean,
it's like
you
training
know
weights
more about engineer than I do, obviously. But I would disagree with saying not having a shotgun nerfs engineer, because if you still want to play good engineer and not have a shotgun, you could use the rescue ranger. So.
Oh no, I totally agree.
But the rescue ranger is better at killing people than the Pomson.
Oh, it is. That's the irony of it. I'm just saying that like in terms of like if you're using this and you're not very good at scout, then you're going to die a lot and it's gonna suck because you're not gonna be hitting your shots, which is the way that you become fast, and the way that you become slow is getting hit. So I mean, it just is. It's kind of like a lose more situation if you're not very good. But if you're not very good at engineer, you can equip the Pomson and still do your job. You know what I mean? So that is the upside.
I guess the thing that I'm thinking is, like, if you're good at scout, then the babyface's blaster actually becomes good. If you're good at engineer, then the Pomson is still awful.
No, for sure.
No, it's awful when you're bad at the game, and it's awful when you're good at the game.
No, the point I'm making is that it's not that bad if you're bad at the game.
I still think it's really bad if you're bad at the game.
It's not that
I think we
bad.
should assume some kind of like baseline level of competency here, because at some point we're just making the argument that engineer is easier for new players than scout. Because if you're so bad where you're not going to get any use out of the babyface's blaster, like, just don't play scout.
I just think the engineer...
Scout himself has the same...
I think the engineer, if you can get down the idea of putting your buildings where they're supposed to go, then you can still basically do what the class is supposed to do. But if you can't get kills as scout, then you're not doing what the class is supposed to do.
Then don't play scout. I mean,
that's
you're probably not going to be doing very well with a scatter gun if you're not doing well with this, to be fair.
That's kind of talking about, like, total class efficacy rather than, like, the efficiency of the particular weapon, I think.
Yeah, I just felt like...
babyface is way better in more situations.
And to be fair, and just to be clear, I am totally on your guys' side that the Pomson is worse than this weapon. I just wanted to, I don't know.
Oh, you're playing devil's advocate over
here.
Not
necessarily. I just wanted to, like, instead of like this thing completely eviscerating this, I just kind of wanted to give it a little bit
discussion, of course.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up that, like, yeah, it has that going for it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not much. It's not much, but
it has a thing going for it.
Then, your entire argument for why this isn't bad is, engineer can get by without a primary weapon.
Exactly.
It's not that bad because you can avoid using it.
Yeah. That's basically the point I was trying to make. That's a good point there. Great play. Which also, it was kind of supposed to be a little bit of a slight towards people in the comments of the Pomson Equal Bad video, saying like, I think it's good.
Well, you're
wrong.
Like, what do you want to tell you?
The point I'm making is that if you think that this is good, then you're probably not very good at engineer. I'm sorry to tell you. You should watch more of my videos. I promise you, if you can get better at engineer, this thing is going to look like a big pile of shit. Okay, well, moving on. Overdose versus the Fan O'War.
I think the Overdose is better. Yes. I think that the Fan O'War is slightly worse. I think this is a close one, but I do think that the Overdose has utility. Whereas the Fan O'War really struggles outside of, like, really specific situations and MVM, which we're not counting into this.
So here's the deal, though. I would argue in a vacuum, like, my intuitive thought is like, yeah, the Overdose is slightly better. But based on how this tier list is set up, or this bracket, I guess, we've been making pretty strong favors toward opportunity cost. And the opportunity cost of the Crusader's crossbow is way higher than anything Scout would be running in his melee slot.
Is true.
It's massive.
So,
here's the thing: if I see a scout on my team using the Fan of War, I don't care. They can do whatever they want. If I see a medic on my team using the Overdose, I might get a little pissed off, you know, because now I know that I'm not going to get arrowed. So I think I just hate this one more.
Opportunity cost. Factoring an opportunity cost, the Overdose is, I would say, worse.
Yeah.
I think in a vacuum, the Overdose is better just because, like, it does provide you basically the same self-defense as the regular syringe gun. The downside is meaningless. It's a difference of like 2 damage per needle, and then the speed boost is actually pretty useful. But in terms of opportunity cost against the crossbow, yeah, it's worse than the opportunity cost of the Fan O'War.
Yeah, it's hard for me to judge these things in a vacuum because like TF2 is not a vacuum, and you can look at stats all day, and it really doesn't matter when you get out there and actually use things. And you know, I feel like this just affects me and my team so much more. It's like I can't arrow them if I'm using it. If my medic is using this, then I'm never going to get arrowed. Maybe he'll run faster with full Uber, but it's like if you're getting chased with full Uber, then why don't you just use your Uber? Then you'll definitely get out. I don't know. It just seems kind of...
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's
right, true.
Right? But
yeah. Maybe there are some people who can get some use out of this, but I feel like if you're not using the crossbow on medic, you're severely like nerfing your healing output. So
yeah, I think there are more implications to running the Overdose versus the Fan O'War. So that would be my vote personally.
Bear Claws versus Blutsaguer. What is this called again?
This is kind of the same. The Warrior Spirit.
Well, thank you.
Warrior Spirit. Ooh.
This is kind of the same fight, isn't it? That we were just having.
This is kind of making me wonder though, because like this one is a lot. This is a lot less close. I think in terms of what you could be running, the Warrior Spirit is like really bad. But
but again, the opportunity cost of the crossbow.
So
true. Yeah, I mean, we just had a huge discussion about the opportunity cost with the this one. So I mean,
I do think the Fist of Steel at least is something though. It's like Scout doesn't really have that many good melees. Like at worst, you're giving up the Atomizer, which is something you can fill with other slots, or the Rap Assassin, which is something you can fill with other slots. Heavy does kind of need the movement speed or damage resistance, though. Like, that is at least a sizable part of his game plan versus...
I think that it just comes down to the fact that the crossbow isn't just good for you, it's good for everyone else on your team.
Yeah. So, my thought, too, is if we extrapolate this logic and we say, well, we could just make the argument every time that we're screwing over our entire team if we don't run the crossbow. Would that just immediately make all of the syringe guns win every time?
That's my thought process.
It could.
I don't know.
We'll have to see. I mean, eventually we'll have to come up with one of these syringe guns, you know, eventually, if it does come down to it. But I will say I've actually done this bracket with my friends a few times just to kind of test if it works and isn't like completely pointless. And that we've come up with a different winner every single time that we've done it. So
interesting.
I think that it just kind of depends on how people are feeling at the end of the day. It's not like one obvious one. But I do think that, yeah, this particular group is a big stand of the crossbow, and so if you're not running it,
you're stinky.
Then you're stinky. All right.
Oh Christ!
Two meme weapons.
2 butchered ones.
True.
I'll put it this way: the caber can do damage on a more consistent basis than the Bison. Now that's like a comparison of 60% to 30% of the time, but the caber at least has the opportunity to do damage.
Caber Knight is genuinely fun. The Bison is like the Pomson. It's just frustrating to use. I feel sad every time I use the Bison. When I use the Caper, I occasionally have like fleeting moments of joy when I kill 3 people in a critical explosion after shield charging into them.
I mean, if you guys have ever played on Uncletopia, there's like 50 or 60 dedicated Caber Knight players who, for some reason, only ever really try and get Caber Knight kills. And they're actually quite effective.
Chasing the dragon, man.
They are, and the thing is that they actually get that dragon quite often. I see them actually kind of going off a lot. I mean, they don't carry their team or nothing, but I mean, they've gotten pretty good at like taking their shot with it. The Bison, I feel like, I mean, I don't know. You're just kind of going for that one funny kill, so you can be like, haha, I killed you with the Bison. But you know, all right. Well, the Bison is the worst of the worst there.
Oh, for
Glove
God's sake.
versus Shahanshah.
Glove.
Sometimes does not 25% less damage and always does 25% less damage.
Worse Fire Axe versus kind of just the Kukri again.
Yeah, it's the Hot Hand easily, because at least the Kukri like sometimes does damage. The Hot Hand... Oh, God.
There is a genuine use case for
horrible
the
voice
Shahanshah.
track. Cut that out.
That's going in. The Hot Hand, I feel like I've never been killed by this weapon ever in my whole life. At least the Shahanshah or whatever, doesn't this still get random crits? So I mean, like, you could still get
the Hot Hand does
completely
too.
boned. Yeah, but
It's
even
just the hot hand does like 70 damage.
Yeah, I was gonna say even with a random crit, you're still like not doing that much damage anyway. So
You have to hit both random crits, remember?
oh right, you have to roll double sixes.
You can't miss him with the second slap. Otherwise, it's just like, why even
Yeah.
bother? But there is a genuine use case for the Shahanshah. It's like, it's minor, but if you like no-scope a scout or something and then he brings you below half health, and then you hit him with this, boom. That takes care of him.
Perfect. In a perfect situation, it
That has
will
happened
do what
to
it's
me.
supposed to do.
It's happened to me.
All right. Well, I'll take your word for it. I mean, like I said, you got to take my word for it that this has never killed me in a video in a game.
Well, no, I mean, I can take my word for it and probably Fish's word and everyone else's word, too. I think it's just the Sandvich for Pyro. It's like the universal sign that you're friendly.
True, yeah. Yeah, if you're just getting slapped around, then you think it's kind of cute and not threatening.
Speaking
Alright.
of non-threatening, the eviction
Alright.
notice.
I am a third-degree stan because I hate the vaccinator. I'm
Oh.
sorry,
Based.
but
Okay.
I love running the third degree, especially with the thermal thruster, because it instills the fear of God into medics. It actually makes them change the way they play the game a lot more defensively. And I can't say I've ever been threatened by the eviction notice, so...
True.
No, the eviction notice sucks so hard. It is a worse screw in every way.
All right.
Oh boy, it's the Fire X, but worse again.
Fire X bit worse, and then Candy Cane that makes makes rockets do headshot damage.
I think that the Candy Cane can genuinely be useful. I've gotten a lot of use out of it. The Sharpened Volcano Fragment, like, it just sucks.
It is
Yeah.
a pretty easy way for Pyro to set players on fire. He didn't have an easy way of doing that before this came along.
That's
so-
true. That's true. You're right.
I will say I like it when scouts on my team use the Candy Cane because then I'll find candy everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
That's like the nice part about it. That's what I like about using the Candy
Yeah,
Cane. It's
'cause-
being like a helpful guy to my teammates.
exactly. I like
You
the little
also do
surprises.
have you have the option to do the kamikaze play for your medic if he's on fire. You know, just
I
make the kill on
yeah, just kill yourself.
All right, so we're thinking the sharp. I mean, this is also one of those weapons that is like known for being one of the worst weapons in the game. So it's kind
Yeah.
of
And again, there's
contest
opportunity
there.
cost with pyro melees because you could be using the power jack, you could be using the extinguisher,
Right.
you could be using
So
even
many-
the back scratcher.
I mean,
So many better
I mean, the
versions,
candy cane is
options.
kind of an active detriment in some compositions, but
I think that the candy cane had like its upsides actually matter and they benefit you and your team.
But they don't benefit you if you're getting shot at by a rocket. But
I
No.
mean,
But I'm using this because I hate a particular pyro on the enemy team.
I see. Okay, it's an anti-pyro weapon. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. The parachute versus the baseball bat, aka the base
Sandman's
jumper
worse.
versus Sandman.
the baseball bat.
It's worse. Base
yeah.
jumper is genuinely useful with the airstrike.
And I think there's a case to be made on like demo too. You can get some pretty niche setups with the
Oh,
sticky
sure.
bomb launcher.
Yeah.
Or Scottish resistance.
What?
Really?
What playstyles are you doing, Fish?
What?
With the okay, explain
Yeah.
this tactic because I don't.
What's the
understand.
Scottish resistance plus base jumper theory?
Like you just fire stickies way faster and like you can just kind of keep an eye on all of them over a big radius and just detonate over specific little areas.
I guess.
This seems like something that I would try for like 5 minutes, and I think that I'm a strategic mastermind that's changed the meta, and I'd get headshot once and quit forever.
Like the thing with the Scottish resistance and the base jumper, right, is you can lay a trap and still sticky jump afterwards and keep that trap.
Right. So counterpoint though, if I'm not running a grenade launcher, I want something that self-defends me.
That's true. That's what your melee's for. Use the bottle.
Okay.
Use the bottle, idiot. Anyway, the Sandman is completely worse in every way because at least the base jumper has uses.
Yeah, and I mean, what does the ball do?
It slows you
15
down
damage.
unless... yeah.
Scout can't do 15 damage.
All right, so that was
Alright.
round one. Pretty good. Let's start round two. We'll go through these a little faster because we've already done the discussion of each weapon individually. But now we just need to find out which is the worst of the worst of the
Shiv
worst.
is worse.
was
Shiv
gonna
is
say,
way
Shiv
worse.
is-
It's so much worse.
Shiv is worse than
Well, we'll at least
Backscatter?
try to make this a discussion. Yeah, because with the backscatter, it's like I feel like I can do something, but Sniper actually does want a melee that does damage, and
Yes.
you don't really have that here.
The opportunity cost of close range self-defense for Sniper, like consistent close range self-defense for Sniper, is enormous with the Tribalman Shiv. And it just does not work The last thing I think when I'm playing sniper is I want this melee fight to last longer.
If you hit him, you can do 10 more damage over the span of 8 seconds as you would with the stock melee instantly.
There's gonna be people.
Exactly.
There's gonna be people in the comments saying like, "Oh, but it's good against spies because you can track them when they go invisible." I've got some bad news for you guys. There's a bug in the game where if you change your disguise as spy, it will get rid of all debuffs except for, or well, it won't get rid of the debuff itself, but it'll get rid of the visual of the debuff completely. And you can change disguises in like half a second. So if a spy is smart enough to have a redisguise bind, then they'll just do that to get rid of the bleed completely. By the way, this doesn't work on Girardi for some reason because Girardi just needs to be that much more overpowered. But anyway, I'm just saying, like in combination with spy cloak getting rid of debuffs like I think 50% faster than they usually do. Yep. They can instantly get rid of the visual. Yeah,
it's
3 seconds of bleed,
so
and they can just get rid of the visual whenever they want. So bleed doesn't matter. Bleed, milk, like all of that stuff doesn't matter against spies right now until Valve fixes that. So it just makes this
take my
weapon
chances
so bad.
with getting a random kukri crit over like tracking him down with bleed in this fucking thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
so.
And you're tracking him down to what in to do the same damage you would have done with one cookery hit anyway? Like,
yeah,
exactly. It's just,
I don't
it's
understand the design
trash.
philosophy of this.
There is no reason to use this.
Next up, we've got Sun on a Stick versus the Gas Passer.
I think we're
one's
doing the
hard,
opportunity cost one again.
But I was gonna say,
think...
with the precedent of opportunity cost, it's like Scout doesn't miss his melee nearly as much as Pyra misses his secondary. So
I agree.
Yeah,
they're both effectively useless for the slot, but
they're such crap.
Yeah.
There have been times where it's like, darn it, if only I was using the Sun on a Stick, I could have gotten to that health pack in time. There has never been a situation.
That one time in my life. I'm sorry.
I've thought it at least once. At least once. But there has never been a time in my life where I thought, damn it, if only I was using the Gas Passer.
Chinese gun versus Equalizer.
Equalizer's so much worse.
I was gonna say, I think there's an argument as to why I might use the Huo-Long. I don't know why I'd ever use the Equalizer.
Yeah,
the Huo-Long heater at its worst is like, it's just a minigun that has less damage, like 10% less damage. It's really not that bad.
And no ammo. I mean, the ammo drain is something if you're not playing attack payload, basically.
Right.
It's something. Honestly, like I really don't have that many issues with the ammo, to be perfectly honest. But like I always just kind of run over health or ammo packs when I play heavy anyway. After I just mow people down, so it's not that bad.
Yeah. I feel like you're actively making your soldier experience worse if you're using this pickaxe. I don't know. It just
you can't run away. You can't boost your teammates. You can't get funny market gardens.
You can't garden. Soda versus Classic.
Damn.
I don't know. I mean, I think because we had a pretty compelling argument with the jetpack versus the Criticola, where it's like they're both good, but there's more reason to use the jetpack, and I think that kind of carries down to this one too, where it's like I can think of more reasons why I would use the Criticola in a situation in which I am genuinely trying to win versus having fun than I can the Classic.
The Classic is a meme weapon. I love it so much, but it's a meme weapon. Weapon.
Weapon.
Weapon.
It's a meme weapon.
I think that the Critical is worse, personally.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Why so?
Because I just feel like you're taking more damage as Scout. That's such a bad... Like, you're relying so much on your ability to hit your shots. Since you're doing it from a distance, you kind of need to, like, not move as much, you know? Like, you gotta line up your shots a little bit better. So I just feel like...
That does also apply to the Classic, though. Like, you have to be accurate, otherwise you're waiting for 3 seconds to hit your next shot.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like if you're good with a sniper rifle, then you're gonna be good with the Classic, too. You know,
let's consider like how you're playing the class if you're not actively using the Criticola though, because Scout can just play Scattergun Scout, and you can serve the Criticola for the times that you really want it and can take advantage of it.
That is true.
Sniper can't just ignore the fact that he has the Classic instead of a sniper.
It's the same
rifle.
thing we were talking about with the backscatter. Like, the Sniper is his sniper rifle.
Right. That is a good point.
You miss having actual damage a lot more versus on Scout. It's like you can be tactical of when you drink it. You're not forced to have it.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. I think the reason why I was leaning towards Critical is because I think I would just rather use the Classic than use the Critical.
Oh, so would I.
But
100%.
But I think if we're just gonna try and objectively, you're right that the sniper is his sniper rifle. I mean, you can play Scout without a secondary just fine, I think. as long as you're using a good primary.
As long as you're not using the backscatter.
Yeah, exactly. Now we've got Overdose versus Pomson.
Pomson's worse.
Really?
We're doing opportunity.
I remember
say,
saying that we were gonna like immediately advance all of the. It's like
so if it's to be fair, if it's up against the Pomson, like the other two comparisons with the syringe gun, it's like what they were up against didn't have that bad of opportunity cost. It's like scout melee is meaningless. Heavy melee is something, but it's negatable. Engineer primary, though,
that
like, sure, you
matter.
can just kind of sit there and turtle, but you would be way better off turtling if you had the Rescue Ranger, Widowmaker, Frontier Justice, Shotgun, Panic Attack, anything.
Or if you're just playing Battle Edgy, then that totally matters.
oh, for sure. I mean,
You
like,
can't use this with the Gunslinger, too. That's like...
You really can't. I've tried. It's so bad.
It's not good at all. It somehow feels even worse than playing level 3 sentries because like you can at least depend on something whenever you're not using minis.
I'm actually kind of glad that a syringe gun got put up against an engineer weapon because now we can make the argument of a medic passively healing his team even without the crossbow contributes about as much as an engineer that just passively has buildings without the use of his primary. So
what's more important? An engineer that has his buildings up or a medic with a heal beam?
That's very situational, I think.
It is.
I was going to
very
say, I don't know if you
situational.
can put a universal tag on that.
Exactly.
But if we're talking about like who's going to contribute more at the median skill level, I mean,
that would be engineer, I think.
I was gonna say actually probably
I was
would be
gonna
engineer,
I
but
was
like
gonna
a
say
medic's
medic.
not doing nothing. So
I feel like if you don't have a medic and the other team has a medic, then it's like pretty likely that you lose just off of like pure numbers.
if
They
my
just have
medic
more
doesn't
health
know
than
when
you
to
do.
use his Uber though, like that's a pretty big detriment. Like that he's not really.
It is, but I'm saying like if you're on a team with no medic and they have a medic, like they just have more health. Like they assuming that they're even, like they just run into you more and you go down.
Would
more.
you rather be on a team where the engineer cannot keep his buildings up, or a team where your medic just isn't using the crossbow?
Yeah, I think I would rather be on the team with the medic who isn't using the crossbow.
All right.
Yeah,
I think that settles it.
That's a
'Cause,
good. That's a good way of putting it.
Would
A
negatively
beam
impact
medic
your
is
ability
more
to do that.
useful than a naked engineer with a Pomson.
Yeah, I mean, it really just comes down to like medic is a better class than engineer for support.
That is true.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of all you have to judge by if we're talking about like they're just stripped of their most important tools. Oh God, okay.
Round
so,
2, it's the same thing.
Well, it's not the same thing because
No.
soldier secondaries aren't as important necessarily as engineer primaries.
Well, there's the banners.
Yeah, but
I
even
can
if
run around and
you're-
like there have been times when I've been playing with shotgun on soldier and I forget that I have it equipped and I just shoot rockets at people and I still top score and I'm like, oh fuck, I had the shotgun the whole time, I didn't even notice. Like you can still do fine, like not even taking out your secondary apparently. Like rockets are just so freaking good.
They are.
So I don't know if the opportunity cost matters as much for the secondary slot on.
No, I don't think it
soldier.
does. I mean, I guess that's just a
don't know,
question
though.
of what is stronger, a banner or a crossbow? Like
So-
probably crossbow.
Crossbow.
I mean, as someone that plays a lot of soldier, though, I guess I can make an argument contrary to that. Oftentimes, if you're not running a banner, you need to have a really damn good reason as to why you're not running a banner. And I need a shotgun to kill the pyro, or I want the gunboats because, I mean, I'm going to be flying around the map and getting picks, and that's why I'm being useful. Those are both good reasons. But you're not really doing anything with the Bison. Like, that's completely a waste of a slot. Like, you're not getting any utility out of that. Whereas the medic is at least getting something out of the Blutsauger, and
Yeah, he's keeping himself alive.
I was gonna say, like, if a medic using this is able to keep himself alive and saving Ubers for longer potentially, like that's I guess not nothing, but I don't know how to quantify like how often that happens necessarily.
Like, how often are you saving yourself with the Blutsauger versus how often is the crossbow being useful versus how often would you like to be using a banner on soldier?
Like the banners are so good. I think
Especially the
there is an argument
backup.
to
The
be made for
backup is
that.
ridiculous.
But yeah.
All of them, every single one is like a free push, whereas crossbow is more passive but spread out over the course of the match.
And just long range
hard.
healing is so good. Like
Yeah.
And long range damage.
I've gotten into so many like 1v1s with someone. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to win, and then they get arrowed, and I'm like, oh. Cool. Like
I guess
I
not.
don't even know where that medic was. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of a hard one because you guys both make very good points. about
This is tough.
like the effectiveness of that slot being important for everybody, not just yourself but your team.
So I think in this case, though, because honestly, I think the impact of a good banner push consistently is about as impactful as the crossbow. Like in most casual matches, it's just so good to push in with the bats or like even conch or something.
If your team takes advantage of it, at least. Sometimes they just straight up don't notice. Well, not even
Well, if
sometimes,
you're playing
but
like
most of
payload
the time.
attack or something, it's like all you have to do
They're
is
moving
pop
forward
the battalion's
anyway.
back
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
They're going in the same direction, and now they're just not dying, or they're
Yeah.
healing or getting mini crits. Or
Whether
whatever.
they realize it or not, yeah.
It's hard to fuck up
So-
having more health.
I would actually make the argument then, because in my opinion, because the utility is about equal, it comes down to which weapon is doing more for you. And I think while the opportunity cost of the crossbow is, I mean, not negligible by any means, the Blutsaguer does end up saving you in instances where the crossbow may not. It actually does give you a decent means of self-sustain, where the Bison does literally nothing ever.
Yeah.
I think I agree with Blue.
I agree too.
Like, if the
I-
soldier didn't have banners, like if he just had shotguns, then I would say that the opportunity cost of the crossbow matters more. But because he has the banners, I think that using the Bison
Yeah.
in that slot matters a lot more.
And with Medic 2, I mean, we've been operating under the assumption of the literal best thing you could be using is not what you're using.
Well-
So I think we have to make that argument with Soldier too, right?
Well, I will say I will say this because I brought this
Okay.
up before. If I'm on a team with someone who's using these, I think I'm going to be a little bit more upset if my medic doesn't have arrows than if my soldier is not using a banner or anything, or just using some
I
stupid
would
weapon.
attribute that to negativity bias, because I think it's a lot more memorable. It sticks out in your head more when you see a medic pull out a syringe gun when you immediately need healing, versus you lost a push that you could have won if the soldier had a banner.
If the soldier had a banner,
kind
yeah,
of
I guess. I
mentally
mean,
reconcile that.
I guess, but a banner just takes a lot longer to come into play. Like the
That
crossbow, the
depends.
crossbow is like instant. They can just like if they see you and you need health, then they can give you health.
That is true.
Oh, I thought you were
but
talking
when-
about in regards to like making a push, because like that would be in context of an Uber rather than.
I was gonna say
crossbow
when the
bolt.
banner does come into play, like it's a lot more impactful than what the crossbow is doing in any one instance. Like it's kind of apples to oranges there. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, like I don't know if this is a hot take, but I genuinely do think a good banner push is equivalent to an Uber because it
I agree
applies to
with that.
multiple people.
Yeah, the
So-
battalion's backup especially.
Even the
Even the
conch, like,
buff
the fact
banner.
that people are able to stand like,
All
any
three
of
of
them. Like the banners,
All three
banners
of them
in general
are so
one of
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's genuinely one of the most powerful weapon types in the entirety of TF2 just because of how good it can
I
be.
mostly just run the battalions because it just turns off headshots and just like you can just
Fair
like walk
enough.
through a choke and the sniper can't do anything. So
It does everything. Like it's
Yeah.
it's good against pushing sentry nests. It gives you more health if you're being overhealed. Like it just kind of helps in every situation.
I like
but-
Yeah.
insta deleting people with the buff banner and the direct hit because it's funny.
no, I get what you're saying though. I did want to bring that up just because like individually on an individual basis, I think I'm just more affected by someone choosing to use something other than the crossbow. But on a larger like if you're just looking at the macro of a game, yeah, I suppose like choosing to use a non-banner thing is probably worse because at the same time, medic can still heal you with their heal beam, like, and that's
Yep.
still fine. You just got to play
Yeah.
around it, I guess, which is
And I
annoying,
think-
but whatever.
Game macro too is probably a more like objective standpoint to look at this at, because which one upsets me if my team isn't using it is very subjective. Like that could apply differently to anyone.
The way
So-
that I play this game is a little bit more micro these days, though. Like, a lot of the time, I don't really care about the outcome of a game or the outcome of a push. If I am personally having fun and doing well, then I
That's how I try to play it.
Ooh,
So,
I think the Blutsauger is more personally fun than the crossbow though. So I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not the best
I hate
argument
using.
either.
I hate using the needles, so I think it's probably just personal preference.
Okay. I've been born and raised, forged in the fires of randomizer, where getting a shitty needle gun is death sentence unless you get good.
I think we're
Yep.
we're picking Bison, right? That was what we came.
Yeah.
to.
No, but it's
Bison.
like an interesting discussion, though. It's like there's, again, I think most people would look at this matchup and assume, like, oh, Bison's worse, easy, but, like, okay, why? Like, in the context of a game,
Yeah.
Because
which
it's
one are you
stinky.
missing more? Yeah, and it's stinky, and I think that's the argument, so.
Right. But there's going to be somebody in the comments being like, I once went on a 20 kill streak with the Bison, so therefore you were wrong.
Same.
Oh, this one's raw.
No, it's not. The hot hand's way worse.
Yeah.
I know that, but the eviction notice is also really bad. And again, you're factoring in opportunity cost.
Yeah, but the power jack, like,
Yeah, the power jack is just so much better for speed. Like, like the only reason you're using the like, if you want to use this in a way that benefits you using the stats of the
reason
gun.
to use this.
Or
There's
not,
no
it's not a
reason.
gun.
I was gonna say
like-
there isn't an only reason to use this.
Well,
thing.
yeah.
Hold on, there's one
But if
reason.
you can
There's
come
exactly
up with
one reason.
What is it?
Slappy fun.
Okay.
Slappy funny.
If you were using the thermal thruster in your secondary slot, but you still want to do the faster Hadouken taunt kill, you can use the hot hand for that.
Wow.
Okay.
You
That
got
is the
me
one
there. I mean,
situation where the hot hand is useful.
I was going a little bit more
2-foot
broad
warrior,
with it.
you know?
I was going a little bit more like if you wanted to use it for speed, like in the same
no,
way
it's,
that
it lasts for 1 second.
I know, but if you want
1
it-
second of speed, and you have to encounter an enemy in melee range.
I mean, but consider this like, and by the way, everything I'm gonna say is stupid. So just keep that in mind.
No. Make the worst devil's argument.
But I'm just saying,
By
yeah,
all means.
like you could use this to basically like speed yourself up to the point where you can circle your opponent and confuse them, and then take out your flamethrower and basically be able to flamethrower them while you have that speed boost, so
For
that they
1
can't,
second.
so that they can't kill you in time. I mean, yeah, it's
For
not very
1
long,
second.
but it's enough to maybe
Dane,
get enough damage on them until
It's
where they
1
can't hit you
second.
back.
If I saw someone successfully pull that off, that would be clip-worthy. I don't know. That sounds insane. You slap someone, pull out your degreaser, apply fire, pull out the melee again, slap to maintain. Like, that is genuinely clip-worthy if someone could pull that off.
Yeah, but it's like
Sketchak, you know what to do.
But yeah, but like
Okay, but no,
you're
consider though,
you're
the
circling
eviction
them
notice-
faster than they can like track
The
you.
eviction notice gives you a speed boost too, so you could just do that with the same,
You can't actually.
without switching weapons. Yeah, it's the same thing.
You can't, no, wait,
Do that with
hold
a
on, you don't
panic
even have
attack.
to- you can't do that when switch weapons.
No, you
like
don't
can
have to switch
eviction
weapons.
notice someone and then just pull out the
Eviction notice gives you-
shotgun.
Oh, you're
and,
right.
Like,
So
zip around
I just
them.
noticed these basically do kind of the same thing, don't they? It's kind of weird that they got matched
Yeah.
up together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually funny because it doesn't attack, like the eviction notice doesn't attack twice per swing, but it attacks faster and does less damage. So,
Yeah.
So it may as well attack twice per swing.
but it also
yeah, the
drains
hot,
your health, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Nah,
the
I
hot
think the
hand
hot
is
hand's
worse.
Yeah, I also agree. I mean, I could see like maybe getting rushed down by a heavy with this, and because they have a lot of health, I can't out damage them. I could never see getting killed by this
I
thing.
mean,
It doesn't do any damage.
oh, this is
Yeesh. Okay, which one of these has less uses?
no. That's not the direction I go with it. Actually, I think the Sandman's worse because worst case scenario on Pyro, you don't have a melee. Worst case scenario on Scout, you don't have a melee and you're missing 15
Yeah, I
health.
was gonna say.
Oh, I guess that's true.
It just makes your health lower. Like this at least doesn't do anything to your base kit, you know?
Yeah, you're at a net 0 versus Sandman, you're at a net negative, and it's like you can slow people down, but I made a heavy walk 2% slower is not.
And this
a good
can
use case.
set
I
people
mean,
on
stopping
fire.
Demo Knights dead in their tracks is at least something. It is more
Until you
than
learn
nothing.
about the force of nature.
That too. Okay, put the Sandman there.
Yeah, Sandman. All right.
All right,
I think this
so-
is what semifinals or something.
Semifinals.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think that's the term.
We're here with the Tribalman Shiv versus the Gas Passer.
Everyone, give it up for.
Fuck.
For shit,
The Shiv can kill people. It's bad at it, but it can.
I guess.
I think we're overlooking though. You get to extinguish allies with the Gas Passer, and Pyre doesn't have a way of doing that. Extinguishing
right.
allies and setting them on fire. This weapon does everything.
It does it all, baby.
I just feel like if you were to optimally use both of these weapons, I feel like you could probably end up getting more value out of the Gas Passer.
Really? Okay.
Because if you
I
were to
might
just
agree
throw it
with
into a
him.
choke over and over again, like you're eventually gonna set people on fire. I mean, like that'll be useful with the Tribalman Shiv. Like, when are you going to be meleeing anybody with this thing? And when you do, like, bleed.
When is it gonna actually work out for you?
Yeah, what is the bleed gonna ever
Ooh.
do? I don't know. It just feels like this thing doesn't do anything, while this thing doesn't really do that much, but at least it does something. Possibly. I don't know.
Shit, I thought of a devil's advocate argument in both directions. So one thing with the Gas Passer that I've noticed, and it's not really like, I don't know if I should credit this to the weapon, but the VFX of it are scary looking or something, because I can throw it into a choke point and people just won't go in the choke point, even though the literal worst case scenario is I
I'm
get
not that
set on
person.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walk through that cloud every single time, and I don't fucking care.
A lot of people genuinely don't. Like, they will avoid it. I don't know if their brains are just hardwired not to take damage, and the fact
Yeah.
that this creates, and I quote, a horrific cloud of gas is enough to make them not go in. But that at least is like a goofy thing that I've noticed. So it's like 8 seconds of area denial in heavy quotation.
Yeah, area denial that they don't understand doesn't
least.
mean anything. Yeah.
At the very least,
but
the
at
gas
the same
passer
time,
can apply DOT to multiple people at once. The Tribalman should do that to one person.
True.
I feel like kind of lame, I guess, pulling this argument over and over, but Pyro misses his secondary way more than Sniper misses his melee.
I don't like either of these weapons, which is worse. But
and here's the thing too with the Shiv is that, like, again, it's still really bad, but at the very least, if you get a random crit, you're killing light classes, and you'll probably kill a demo or pyro.
Wait. The Shiv random crit?
Yeah,
That does 98 damage.
Does it do 9? I thought it did like 1...
Does it really?
Doesn't do 140. Oh, shit.
It does 98 damage.
Oh,
Plus
shit.
6
I'm
seconds of
misremembering
bleed.
weapons buff.
It is awful.
And again, I think another contributing factor to me going with the Tribalman Shiv as the worst option here is because I honestly would just rather use the Gas Passer. It seems like more fun to do that. Like, and honestly, I feel like I would have fun trying to figure out how to make like optimal plays with it. With this, I feel like it's just kind of like whatever.
Combo exists,
yeah, exactly.
I think I have to agree with Dane.
Oh man, that's true. There is
that
at
is a
least
use
something
case.
you can do with this. But
and the Neon does a good job at charging up your gas in like a big burst.
How shit out of luck are you if you're running these weapons? And again, as Sniper, like we've kind of whittled it down to the weapons that are either worthless or worse than worthless. And as Sniper, it's like I can cope with not having a melee easier than I can cope with not having a secondary as Pyro.
Yeah. I can at least see a Pyro performing effectively with like Dragon's Fury, Gas Passer, and Neon.
Mm-hmm.
This is an anomaly of a weapon. I don't know what they were doing.
I don't know. It's so strange that this arbitrary rule of like it charging like over time and also with damage. It's so strange.
Yeah.
My vote,
I mean,
is for the Tribalman Shiv. I think.
I feel like I'm convinced towards the Shiv being worse, if I'm being honest. Just because, like, again, I feel like you can do something with the Gas Passer now that the Neon combo exists.
With the Gas Pass, like that's
you're doing the Neon.
I know you're fucked either way though.
It's a meme, but it's something. The Tribalman's is nothing. You can do nothing with the Shiv.
Yeah,
you can't do
anything
at the very
with it.
least. Okay, again, my argument's gonna be, and I'm a Pyro main. I don't know if you knew that, but this is a personal vendetta for me. You need a secondary to do well as Pyro. It doesn't matter if you're using the jetpack. That's at least something. You have mobility with that, but you need something in your secondary slot because unlike every other class, you're hard capped in your range. Sniper, though, at least has options to fight at close range. So he wants a melee, but you can physically get by and still play the game without it.
I don't know if I'm convinced.
Okay.
I think I'm just like, if someone was like, would you rather use the Gas Passer or would you rather use the this
okay,
thing?
this is a personal preference.
I that's how I have to come. I feel like that's what has to be the tiebreaker because it's so close. I mean, like, there's good reasoning for both sides of it. You know, you make good points.
I feel like this is really
when I
even.
picture myself as a Sniper using the Tribalmans, it's like I can at least imagine a scenario where it's like I start the fight with a Tribalman Shiv hit, and then I start peppering them with the SMG, and that damage adds up enough to where they die and I survive. But with the Pyro, it's like, okay, so someone attacks me, and because the Dragon or the Gas Passer has such a long cooldown, I don't even have a secondary. I have a meter that represents the progress of what would be my secondary. So I'm stuck with my flamethrower and melee, and depending on what I'm running, that may not be enough to kill the scout who's just dancing outside of my flamethrower range. So it's like, I do think it hurts you in more scenarios to not have it. And I think both of these are like basically useless. So the question for me boils down to which class can get away with just not having that weapon slot. And for me, it's Sniper not having a melee is slightly better than Pyro not having a secondary.
No, you're right. I think that is a good point. That is a good point.
I can at least play normal Sniper and have the Shiv, and it's just like, if someone comes out to me, I'm probably gonna die. But
yeah, I'll just go for the quick scope or something.
Yeah.
All right.
There's,
I mean,
like,
let it be known.
cases for the Shiv,
let it be known that I mean, like, I think that logically, I think that Blue is making a lot of good points here, but in my heart, I think I just hate this one more.
The argument is useless weapon versus useless weapon, though. It's like
yeah,
we're really fighting for scraps here.
It is really, yeah, this is tough as we're getting into the finals here. All right.
Okay, this is not very tough.
No, the Equalizer is so much worse.
Yeah, no, for sure. I
was gonna say, I think the Classic has just had unfortunate.
The Classic kills people.
Sorry, Classic. You've kind of had a free run until now. You've gotten some bye weeks, but your streak is over.
What I think, what it was here is like these two brackets right here were kind of like the good of the bad. We're all fighting each other, and then the Classic kind of like was the worst of the. It was like the worst of the best of the bad, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and then seeds 29 through 32 down here.
And then it finally gets put up against a real bad weapon, and then
a real stinker.
A real, like, you think you're a bad weapon, wait until you meet the real baddies. All right.
Speaking of the real baddies, what's the Pomson?
Okay, so
it's a Gortbort showdown.
So I've had very long arguments with the What Show about this, and I've been thoroughly convinced that the Bison's the worst weapon because the Pomson at least can sometimes do damage.
180.
The Bison
Pomson deals consistent damage is the thing. The
Bison
is all
is random
over the
damage
place.
spread. It is Stockholm syndrome for random damage spread. It never
in the
truly
future
went away.
damage spread will be randomly generated.
Yeah, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Bison here for all of the reasons that I kind of brought up earlier, where it's like, I mean, engineer with no shotgun can still build, you know.
Yes,
but
he'll be worse at keeping it up without the rescue ranger and stuff like that, and worse at defending without a shotgun.
He'll be bad at it, but at
he
least
can still do it.
He's still got the wrench. He can still turtle. Yeah, with the Bison, it's like you're giving up all of the soldier secondaries essentially, and all of the soldier secondaries are incredibly good. So
and the Bison again, like in just a strict damage comparison, it's worse. In terms of what it does for the class, like you miss your secondary as soldier, I think slightly more than your primary as engineer, like you said. So that would be my vote.
Plus,
and again, like
if you get a random crit with the Pomson, doesn't it do 180? What does the random crit with the Bison do? Doesn't it do less?
Sometimes like 36.
Roll
Sometimes
a d20
it does a lot.
It's random? It's really just that random?
Okay, I'll put it this way. The cap of the Bison is like 180, but it's not doing 180. It's doing like maybe 60, which is really bad. It's so bad.
Okay.
Because I think it does like, what is it, like 24 a tick if it's a random crit?
I've had this do as low as 18 per hit. I don't know what happened.
Oh, then it's 18 per hit, so it's like 36.
Well,
I think
like that's exceptional. Usually it's like around 20 to 24 is like the low end of damage. But the fact that I even have to worry about it for like a normal hit, so it would be doing about 72.
Hold on, I'm looking this up.
I mean, I'm glad I have you guys here because like I literally have. I don't think I've ever used the Bison. I mean, I think it's just one of those weapons that like I've never even tried to do it as a joke. Like it just doesn't sound fun.
Okay, so critical damage is 60, meaning you're probably going to do like 120 damage because it's going to hit the guy twice.
But not necessarily. It won't necessarily do that.
Sometimes it'll hit the guy once. Sometimes it'll hit him like 4 times.
It depends on how they're moving. Yeah.
Always. Sometimes
does half the damage of one rocket. That's really bad.
Incredible. Incredible. Pomson got beaten out. Incredible. It just took all it took was his uglier brother here. Baseball bat versus glove. Which is more useless? Which sucks more?
Ooh, outfielders versus batters. Let's see it.
True. Yeah, this is a baseball situation. This is kind of. This might be a little difficult, actually. I know.
I was going to say, I actually need a moment to think because I'm not sure.
Is 15 health on Scout more valuable than the Power Jack? That's what we're arguing here.
Well, and how much does the Sandman actually do? Because
I think it can help in certain situations. Like, I have gotten kills because of the Sandman before. I have never, ever in my life gotten a kill or escaped a bad situation because, like, oh, Hot Hand's got my back. The Sandman has had my back. He's trying his best out there. He's giving it his damnedest.
You're making an interesting argument because now how many times does that apply with the Sharpened Volcano Fragment, which we overruled? So
never. The Sharpened Volcano Fragment has never helped me.
So I guess like we have to like okay,
hold on. The Sharpened Volcano Fragment has helped me a couple of times because like there's very niche specific combos you can get with it, and I know I've gotten some kills because of the afterburn, where I died and then the afterburn killed the guy I hit. That has mattered sometimes. It's not great.
We're grasping at straws.
We're grasping at straws here.
No, so, like, intuitively, I think the hot hand is worse, but I'm trying to think of an argument that wouldn't also apply to the Sharpened Volcano Fragment, and I really can't do it, so...
I think that the Sharpened Volcano Fragment is better than the hot hand.
Yeah, but is it better by so much that the Sandman is in between them? Like, that's kind of my thought here.
Well, I think that the Sharpened Volcano Fragment is a better stock fire axe. I think that the hot hand is a worse stock fire axe. And then the Sandman is obviously the worst of the scout melees.
Well, I would disagree that the Sharpened Volcano Fragment's a better fire axe, because
I think it's a better fire axe.
The rare times you actually want your fire axe are when people are resistant to fire and you're running a flare gun. So,
I think that the small niche combo potential, and also like, hey, if you hit someone, then you can at least do afterburn, which does more damage than the fire axe.
Dude, I'm gonna be real.
It's niche.
It's niche. I've ever gone for melee hits on pyro, or if I'm fighting like a demo knight or vaccinator medic and I just need a random crit. And if I'm doing those things, the afterburn and the fire damage type are not helping me there. So
probably not. No.
I feel like if you were to use like the baseball bat as just a strict melee weapon, like if you were just gonna try and run someone down and try and beat them to death with it, like I feel like you probably kill them faster with the bat than you would
true, actually.
With the hot hand. Ironically,
I remember that being one of the genuine use cases that I came up with in my video for. It's just like, yeah, just use it as a regular baseball bat. Like, all you have is 15 less health. You'll probably still get a bunch of random crits with it, so who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
So I guess we have to kind of reason out, like, how good is the baseball? Because that kind of factors in, I think, a lot here.
I think that the baseball
it lets you
is...
win scout 1v1s if you can hit it, and win against demo knights, which is not really something that scout struggles with. But
anyone slower than a heavy, it makes that matchup way fucking easier.
Anyone slower than a heavy? Well, I think that's already a pretty easy matchup.
Or anyone faster than a heavy. I'm real stupid like.
Maybe against pyros it might be helpful if you can keep your distance as well. I don't know.
That's also true, yeah.
I would still argue that in the times where Scout struggles against pyro are the times where the map is so cramped that the Sandman slowing them down isn't gonna matter. Like,
right.
Well, I mean, if you just get caught off guard by a pyro, then you could just like pop them with the ball and be like, okay, I'm over here now. See you later. Goodbye.
But if you get caught off guard, they're already in melee range, and the ball at that range is not going to slow for very long. Like, you're better off not having the 15 health penalty and being able to get away easier.
No, you're right. It is a bad weapon. I think it just comes down to, like, is it better than like the pyro using the hot hand essentially?
I think the fact that the ball can come in handy against certain matchups, like scouts, like demo knights.
Yeah, like we're trying to come up with pros for each weapon, right?
What are the pros of the hot hand, Blue? What are the pros of the hot hand?
Here's the deal: the hot hand has no pros. The thing that's tripping me up though is that I think we should retcon the Sandman being worse than the Volcano Fragment, because you've actually changed my mind on that retroactively. Because I think, yeah, the Sandman has uses. I don't know when I'd ever use the Sharpened Volcano Fragment though.
Well, I think when we were doing that, we were saying that like Pyro can get along fine with his melee, but
without
Scout having 15...
that would apply here.
Yeah, that's
to be fair.
Yeah, I think that's
shit.
And here's the deal too. Like, I think that in the events that you actually want to run the Sandman, the health penalty can be worth it, but there aren't events in which you want to run the Volcano Fragment. I think we kind of skipped that argument, and coming back to it has kind of changed my mind on that entire matchup. So that's what's tripping me up here. So
I mean,
if you're fine.
I'd be fine with
I am fine with it, because essentially the outcome of this battle is still going to be the same.
Yeah, which is not the hot hand is worse.
Yeah, but I feel better about it. So.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. All right, we're in. Well, I guess this would be semifinals now, because it's now two. These two need to find who's better among them, and then they're gonna fight each other.
Jungle Inferno weapon.
Oh yeah, two Jungle Inferno weapons. Awesome. Let's see.
And it's.
I don't know.
I mean, this is a case I think where, because it's not the idea of one is situationally bad, but inflicts a penalty. Like, this is just the equivalent of not having a secondary or not having a melee. And again, I'd rather not have a melee than a secondary. So.
I think I have to agree with that. Like, I can play Pyro all right without having a melee weapon. Not having a secondary weapon sucks. I want to shoot people and do a burst of damage or deal fire damage at long range.
Yeah.
I want to do stuff. Gas Passer don't let you do stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of the same idea as Gas Passer versus Tribalman. Just apply that to Pyro, and it's like, yeah.
I mean, I don't think that I miss my secondary on Pyro nearly as much, but then again, I don't really play Pyro very much, so I think that that's probably why I've been a little bit more of a champion for the gas going forward. But I mean, I think objectively, like the Pyro secondary is just so much more impactful to his play
pretty
style.
much play Pyro because of the secondary. Like the flare guns are so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know what it is? I don't main Pyro, so you keep that in mind. But my favorite.
Well, I thought you did. You made a video that said you did. And
I
now
did.
you're lying
I
to your
did,
audience.
but then I gave up.
What happened to your persona, Uncle Dane?
I think you took it. I mean, you said that you really wanted it. You messaged me and said that you really wanted.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
you
you were like,
You know, I was gonna say I should not be throwing stones and glass houses
I
here.
was gonna
unfortunately,
say, I typically like to use the Dragon's Fury, and the
you're outnumbered, Blue.
and the Dragon's Fury is definitely my favorite like primary weapon to use on the Pyro.
It's not as good as it could be.
Oh, I didn't know that there was history here, but I'm just saying, like,
Oh.
the play style that you go for with the Dragon's Fury is typically not like combo oriented. You usually just kind of burst people down. Like the combo,
I kind of combo
the
it.
combo. Well, I mean, like you can do it, but I think that the way that I like to play with it at least is like the combo you're trying to hit is with the weapon itself. You're trying to hit someone and then hit him, and then hit him again. You know, so I feel like that affects
I end up
my
going for like a
feelings.
reverse combo.
Let's look at the counterpoint, though. How many times are you going for a melee with the Dragon's Fury when you could just hit him with the Dragon's Fury again?
I don't really go. Yeah, I don't really use my melee.
I would rather
Yeah.
have the secondary to tag people that are running away versus the melee
you're right.
to tag people that are in the same range as what I could be doing.
Yeah,
with
if
the
I was
primary,
doing like a
so-
tier list of importance on like pyro weapon slots, then I would say, you know, it goes in the order of primary and secondary and then melee.
Ooh,
So-
I don't know though. I think Pyro wants us. Well, it's actually. I think they're even. I think which primary you're running kind of affects which secondary or how important your secondary is, and vice versa.
Yeah, I
but-
could see that, but I'm mostly just
Like
coming.
if you use the scorch shot, you don't have to use a primary at all.
Yeah,
I don't know about that, but
yeah, I'm mostly just kind of trying to give you guys an idea of like why.
yeah.
It's not offensive to me to give up my secondary on Pyro, I suppose, because
Oh.
I feel like the Dragon's Fury kind of makes up for it a lot. All right, so in the finalists, we have the
We've not
stinky
decided
Gas
Cloud.
Passer, and then who's going to take it to the final?
All right, it's the same debate. It's the same.
It's got to
exact
be the
debate.
Bison.
Does the soldier miss the secondary or the melee? And the answer is the secondary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the benefit of we just kind of happen to have two soldier and two pyro weapons that have the same slot distribution. So
Yeah.
and I think the answer to that argument's the same in both cases. Missing
Yeah.
banners is way more of a sin than missing
Yeah, and at the end,
escape plan.
you
Basically.
did
And
make
again,
the
at least the Equalizer can do damage
It can
if you
kill.
get hit by that random melee crit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the Bison can if you roll high and get a random crit, and
They
they're
both
backing up
suffer
and-
from the issue of inconsistent
And the
damage,
taunt
but
kill
at the very
is good.
least.
What's
yeah, at
the-
least it has
yeah.
a taunt kill too.
Yeah, this thing doesn't have a taunt kill. All right, so we're at the finals now. Who is the worst weapon? Is it the Bison or the Gas Passer? Some might have predicted that this might have happened. I think these are kind of obvious like choices if you're to ask
Yeah.
people. But
Yeah.
But we've also it's satisfying to see that we have like gone through and argumentatively whittled it down to
Yeah.
these, so we
Yeah,
can
exactly.
at least affirm common knowledge here.
Yeah.
So
Jeez. Okay.
Hmm.
Point to the Gas Passer. It's consistent.
true, it'll do
I mean,
what it says it's gonna
consistent
do.
once every 60 seconds.
Uh-huh.
I guess.
Point against the Gas
mean,
Passer. You get to use it once every 60 seconds.
I still think that the Gas Passer at least does something. It can
Yeah.
set up for the neon combo, which is a gimmick. What gimmick can the Bison even do?
Shooting through a big crowd with a crits charge.
If only Soldier had a tool that could.
I know,
If you're
but
using
allow
the
him
rocket
to
jumper.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, Oh, okay. If I'm using the rocket jumper and equalizer, and that's my only source of damage.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you get crits creaked by a medic.
Yeah, and the medic is not paying attention to what weapons I have for some reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think like the non-meme argument is what's the bigger opportunity cost? And I think it's pretty close, but in terms of the macro of the game, banners are so important. But Soldier, like, even if you're not running a banner, like, you do want a shotgun for more consistent matchup wins, or the gunboats for more consistent mobility, versus Pyro, where it's like you do want those things too, but you can at least have the option to play defensively, whereas Soldier doesn't get as much value out of doing that.
And here's the thing, right? Like, we're talking about that sort of thing where, like, with the banners, you can help out, like not just yourself, but everyone on your team. The Gas Passer, for as little of an impact as it has, is doing the same thing. It's basically a banner. That is my...
Right.
Yeah, that's... If you take anything away from this video, it's that. The Gas Passer is basically a banner.
It does the same thing as a banner, yeah. You brought up a good point earlier when we were talking about what the Gas Passer can do, and I like that you pointed out that it can provide some kind of area denial, even if it doesn't really matter. It still has that kind of psychological effect on people. I feel like if I see gas, I might not run into it. I don't know, if it's not important for me to go forward, then I probably will just avoid it, because why not? But like, if I see a soldier shooting me with the Bison, like, I'm not worried at all. I'm not gonna get killed by that. Don't kill me with the... No!
If we're talking about psychological effects, you know what, like, some people seeing a soldier shooting the Bison are gonna do? They're gonna switch the soldier. They're gonna use the Bison. So really, you're nerfing the enemy team by using the Bison.
Oh, you're starting a horrible, like, meme.
Virus.
Yeah.
It's a cognito hazard.
Yeah, if somebody sees someone else using the Gas Passer, I'm not gonna jump in and be like, I'll do that too. Like, nobody's gonna do that.
That seems like fun.
Yeah.
I can't
wait, that's actually... I'm not even joking, Fish. That's actually an insane argument. Like, 5D chess, switch to the Bison, wear like party hat on Soldier, and then get other people to switch to the Bison, and now you go back to your main, and now you're stopping them 2 players.
But what if your team does it though? Like, you have to make sure that the other team is doing it, not your team.
You gotta social distance. You gotta make sure they don't see you get any kills.
I see. So you use the rocket jumper, you go in deep so that your team doesn't see you doing it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, and if they spectate you, well, then, I mean, I don't know, get on their case for not social distancing, so... I don't think that camera angle's 6 feet away. So
what are these? This is so 2020 jokes you're making now.
This is well, yeah. You don't want to spread
that. That was like
virus,
a billion years ago at this point. The times have changed, Grandpa.
I think what you're giving up as Soldier is slightly more important than what you're giving up as Pyro, because while the Pyro stuff helps you, the Soldier stuff helps your entire team. So
that is a good point. And I also just feel like the Gas Passer, strangely enough, just has more opportunity for you as a Pyro to like do something, whereas the Bison, you're kind of just hoping, praying that someone accidentally dies to it somehow.
You're praying for the damage to actually be like, you are hoping that the game will give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
Rather than like being able to create one yourself.
Right. So I am leaning towards Bison for those 2 main reasons. It's like you can do something. You can do something with the gas, and it's more important overall to have Soldier secondary than Pyro secondary. It's big of you, Blue, to admit that Soldier secondary is more important.
It's big of you to admit that your main doesn't fucking matter.
So here's the deal, right? I'm gonna beat the Pyro main allegations by saying I have like 25 less hours on Soldier. I'm almost a Soldier main.
Oh, okay.
We're pretty close.
Ooh,
so
you're close to losing your persona.
Yeah, I was gonna say then the state mandated persona gets taken away if I switch to Soldier, and instead I get like a lime green war pig. So I don't want that.
Okay, well, I think we've come to our winner. It is the righteous Bison.
Or a loser, depending on how you look at it.
Exactly.
I mean, these could tie. Like, realistically speaking, these could tie, but...
Anyway, thanks for watching all the way to the end, and I'm sure that you're also just as happy with the choices that we made. You're definitely not mad.
I'm sure it won't be controversial at all.
You're definitely not mad at all that we, like, totally... like shit on your favorite weapon or something, and I'm sure that our logic held up all the way through and we didn't contradict ourselves ever.
Nope.
So check out these 2. I probably linked their channels.
Probably.
Yeah, Fish and I have a normal podcast type thing, so cool.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.